Tropics Entertainment. And I want to go to career promoters that use other foundations such as schools and implement schools and other organizations that they host and use their name. So I am going to Army Fet, which is held by Tropics Entertainment.
TTCO's Chief Licensing Officer Dion Heath did not mince words, naming and shaming the non-payment of dues to the Collective Management Organization, or CMO. The TTCO is one of 3 CMOs that currently operates in Trinidad and Tobago, the other 2 being the Copyright Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, COT, and Awesome Limited. At today's discussion, the organization was quite clear that promoters will have to come to terms with the fact that paying a COT license isn't sufficient to cover the intellectual property issues that arise when one holds a commercial entertainment event.
The answer to that is that you have to separate a performance fee and the intellectual property right. For whether the performer himself or herself does not stand alone, there are many other people behind who also create. So the producer is not on stage. The session musician is not on stage. Intellectual property rights are separate and apart from a performance fee.
He says organizations are encouraged to meet with them to try to come to a mutually beneficial arrangement. He says while people seem to understand copyright requirements, the matter of neighboring rights aren't understood at all. And for the sake of clarity, they are the rights that aren't related to the work's actual composer and cater for the payment of the intellectual property rights that arise, for instance, from a singer's vocal and stage performance of a song. So, when are copy and neighboring rights required?
Having a member as a CMO gives us access to the event to be held, whether it be a concert, a carnival fete, or Cola Lime. Once it's outside the domestic circle, it's in public use, a license is required.
The Intellectual Property Office of Trinidad and Tobago, in a document entitled Address Collective Management Issues, recognizes that the 3 aforementioned CMOs prefer mediation to legislation. But since mediation has fallen through, the Ministry of Legal Affairs is looking at developing legislation to address the matter. Until then, local promoters may find themselves having to pay multiple CMOs until the law comes into force. Soini Gray, C News.